Bjorkstrand was on your fourth line. This is a guy making like $5.5 million on your fourth line, and there was a question out there of with what they have cap wise and how they project this team moving into the future. You know, could JBB maybe want to revamp that Bjorkstrand spot in a sense of finding someone who can fill in on that top power play unit and then also kind of fill out the roster elsewhere in the same token. But also, Bjorkstrand, his 5-on-5 numbers and his like his analytical stuff, it looks good on the lines that he's playing. It's just, the question around him is more so like, is he worth $5.5 million for what his role is? But at the same point, like he's still contributing.
From the Bay, headsets on, volume up. This is Bo's country.
Welcome to We.
Wow, that's a nice.
Let me try that again. Welcome to We. The Thunder. My name is Rob. My friends call me Shooter.
Wow, that's a nice shooter. Let me have a look at it.
Gotta get these buttons straight. If we're gonna use them tonight. And then we've got. Will you look at this guy?
Look at this guy.
Look at him. He looks like he's all ready to go to the Stadium Series after the show tonight. He looks like he's ready to go. We got an announcement, and he's like, "Let me put on my hat. Let me put on my jersey.
Hey,
walk on down."
This is from Sonia. Where am I pointing at? This is made for me by Sonia, who's going to be back in the building singing the national anthem at the very next home game. So she sent me this, and so I wanted to rock with it because I had to put on the jersey too.
You look ready to go. Meanwhile, I'm still rocking a Sergachev shirt that Sarah made for us when we were making cereal boxes back in the day. Boy, we've come a long way. We had a heck of a watch party last night. We'll talk about that tonight. We'll talk about 11 straight wins. We still haven't lost a game. Do you know what happened December 18th last year?
Was that the last time we lost?
That's the last time we lost a game. Before Christmas. I don't even remember that long ago. But we got a guest here for the next 30 minutes, and we want to get to him, get his take on the season. Not a first timer here on the show. And I've got a new shooter game to debut. So we're going to do a little schooly head-to-head with our guests. Let's bring him on with a thunderclap. Evan Closky.
I want a couple of them buttons. Give me a couple of them.
As long as you can work them. I've the last couple weeks I've been screwing up my buttons. But you know what? Everybody loves a good sound effect. So hey man, it's good to see you. It's good to have you back. Obviously, we've been in a good mood all year, going back to December 18th. And yeah, what a run this team is on. We got together last night with a bunch of other Lightning fans over in Clearwater, Largo area and watched the Lightning win their 11th straight game, tying a franchise record, which they can best on Friday night. Evan, how did we get here? What do you think of the team this year? Does it feel different to you this year?
Yeah, I mean, this team is great. Like, even when so ignoring the first 7 games where in hindsight looking back that definitely seemed like a team that maybe didn't prepare stamina wise the necessary ways in training camp. I think they eased into the season, and I think John alluded to that a little bit, saying yeah, we didn't play a lot of our guys. I think that probably was part of it, but those first 7 games, they didn't play great hockey. Even when they lost that stretch of 7 or 9, they were playing really good hockey. It just 3 of those games were against the Islanders, and Sorokin, just would not give them anything. And there were other games in there, but like all the analytical stuff, in those 9 games, I think they were the worst team. Like in 2 of them, like they were still playing their great brand of hockey. And you hear it from John now. It's just, you know, it's kind of being balanced out because they're sticking with their game and they're getting a little bit of puck luck falling their way. Whereas in those couple of losing streaks, they were on the outside looking in. So, you talk about last night. Um, that was a game where it was really a coin flip affair. They're coming off a second end of a back to back. Was not their best effort, but they found a way and they made it happen.
And an injury to Point in the first game. So
injury
no Point in that
Point.
second game, too.
The second game you talk about, Sorelli was out for pretty much the entire third period because of the fight that he got in, which, obviously everyone's a fan of, and that's what you got to do to stick up for a guy like Brandon Hagel especially. But just they're going back to the vibes. Like last year, I thought this was a really good hockey team that ran into the Stanley Cup champion in the first round again. And that was a pretty good series, and it didn't fall their way. The year prior, I did not think that was a very good hockey team. I thought it was a playoff caliber team, but I did not. Leaving that season, I was like, this was not a team that was going to make a run. This year is a team that can win it all. And it starts with the incredible depth. They are a defense-first unit. When you think back to those Stanley Cup caliber teams, this is what they used to do. 2 goals or less, and we have the offensive firepower to light it up if we have to. So we don't even know what JBB is going to do come the deadline. But even without that, like, this team is deep, and you have the goalie. Like, ignoring the 11-game winning streak, before that, I was feeling very good about this team, and they've only confirmed that in the year 2026 at this point.
It certainly feels different this year than it has in the last couple years. This is a different team than we've had. Schoolie,
on the way home last night from our watch party, I was thinking, I think we have the perfect match of veterans and then rookies or younger guys. I think it's perfect that you have enough veterans in that locker room and that help those younger guys, but you also have those younger guys that have the hunger to get where those veterans have been, and they want to do good for this Tampa Bay Lightning organization. You hear how this is a first-class organization. Players want to come and play here, and they love the fans and everything else. So, unless you're Rashad White and talking about Bucks fans. But other than that, I think it's the perfect amount of mismatch when you go back and look at the other years that we've made the playoffs, made a deep run and stuff like that. You had some rookies sprinkled in there. You had some younger guys sprinkled in there with the older guys. And I think last couple years, we did veterans only. I mean, it was basically a veteran team and older guys. And I think this mixture of the younger and the older is really stumping people and really getting back to Lightning hockey. And I think Coop's back to having a lot of fun with coaching these younger guys, where you have all these veterans who's been in his systems. You just have to read. They ask Coop, 600 wins, 1,000 games. How do you make it this far every year? And he says every year you have to reevaluate and redo it. And I think, with these younger guys, it's brand new for him. He's had the same veteran players for the last 3, 4, 5 years that he gets to research himself too, along with this team.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned some of the younger guys like, Dominic James could be very Ross Colton-esque when you think about that second Stanley Cup run. Those kind of like that fourth line depth piece. I mean, look, Bjorkstrand is like, when you figure when Braden Point was healthy and what we were rocking with for a while there, Bjorkstrand was on your fourth line. This is a guy making like $5.5 million on your fourth line. And, there was a question out there of, with what they have cap-wise and how they project this team moving into the future, could JBB maybe want to revamp that Bjorkstrand spot in a sense of finding someone who can fill in on that top power play unit, and then also kind of fill out the roster elsewhere in the same token. But also, Bjorkstrand, his 5-on-5 numbers and um, his like his analytical stuff, it looks good on the lines that he's playing. It's just, the question around him is more so like, is he worth $5.5 million for what his role is? But at the same point, like, he's still contributing. And Nick Paul is down there in the bottom six, and they're kind of out of that salary cap hell to where they've been able to shuffle more people in and out, and we've seen that all year long. Even guys that don't necessarily play in the lineup, they're being brought to town with the team for a day, shuffled back to Syracuse. There's a good like back and forth here, and there's still people there in Syracuse who I'm a firm believer in. Geeky is there, Peltier is there, Curtis Douglas. When you need a little bit of an enforcer, he'll be brought back. There's a lot of talent with Syracuse still, and this team keeps humming along, and that's on top of the Croziers and the Charles-Edouard Destues that you brought in. And JBB pushed a lot of good buttons in this offseason, and there was Pontus Holmberg, right? That was a great addition, the backpack, as they call him. So there's a lot of really good button pushing that JBB has made this offseason, and what he does at the deadline will determine if he can really make this team stand out. And that's kind of what he's done in the past. When you think about bringing in Savard when he did for that second cup run for a first-round pick, the Blake Colemans, the Barclay Goodrows, right? Like, typically when the Bolts make those big trades, they're making them for depth pieces. They're not swinging home runs. They're willing to spend draft capital on people to fill out their roster. And I'm curious. I'm excited because I know when you're riding an 11-game winning streak, you don't want to mess with anything, but it doesn't hurt to raise your you're not going to complain if you can add Blake Coleman to your third or fourth line. Like, that dude's a stud. So those are the guys out there potentially for them to add here to this lineup. And it would
Steven
only
Stamkos.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Predators are actually like in the hunt again. They looked like Stamkos looked like as good as gone. Then, he's on quite a tear right now.
He is.
Mm-hmm. Stamkos at this point, he's always got, I don't care. This guy can be 50 years old. He can score goals. He'll always score goals. That's just what he does. At this point in his career, he is not a 5-on-5 hockey player. Just not. But if there is a world where you can bring him in, throw him on a fourth line, and have him be your power play specialist back in his office, yeah, I think there's a discussion to be had there, but it's got to be at the right price. And $8 million ain't it. And the last I heard reports on this, Nashville wanted out from that contract. And that's a no for me, dog. As much as I love Stammer, and I think he would fit, like, they never have figured out this power play. They've been much better recently prior to the Pointer injury. Let's just, take last night out of the equation. They were humming for a while there. They had something clicking, but to me, to everybody out there, I do not think Bjorkstrand is the option on that power play. He has a right-handed shot. I get it, but he's not.
I don't think there's anybody watching this or anybody in the world or even in the Lightning organization.
I don't think JBB believes it either. I think they know that he's not.
Anybody thinks he's the answer.
But they need the right-handed shot, and they shove him over there. But he is not equipped to handle that. The juice that Gensel and Cooch and Pointer provided, and what Radish/Hedman doesn't, like, you're missing that threat. And so when you miss that threat, teams don't care that he's shooting the puck wide open. He's not making them very often. So if you put Stamkos back in that office, all of a sudden it's like, oh crap. Like, now we got to respect this. We got to respect that. We got to respect up top. You're screwed. Like, and that's why we've come. That's for so long the fan base has been accustomed to the Bolts power play just being unstoppable. because that is the scenario that they've been in for their entire existence with kind of that Cooch Stamkos core. And you saw it last year against the Panthers. That power play unit really let them down. The special teams unit really was kind of the swing factor in some of those losses. And for me, when looking at the deadline, you have to find somebody on that PP unit that's going to elevate the other four players around them. And then they also probably got to get someone to handle faceoffs a little bit better. I think I think that's a wee bit of an issue.
Been a bit of a problem, and it'll be interesting to see now that JBB does have some pieces that he can move. You've got a guy like Bjorkstrand that you could potentially move, offload some salary, bring somebody in. You've got a guy. One of my bold predictions, Evan, for 2026 was Darren Radish is going to get traded. Maybe at the trade deadline. I was thinking more if he is about to hit free agency, trading is right, but if they need to pull the trigger, maybe that is included in a package to sweeten the deal because he's going to be a coveted free agent if we don't extend him. Now, the question is, and this kind of relates to that, is, what do you do when Hedman, McDonough come back? There's not enough space on the roster. And by the way, everyone that is tuning in, if you don't know Evan, he is the sports director for Tampa Bay 10 News. So you can check him out on your TV, but he's an awesome follow on Twitter. So we'll make sure we post his Twitter account on there too, or X, as the kids call it. He's a great follow. But what? All right, Evan, you are John Cooper. You've coached 1,000+ games. You're 600 dubs in. What do? You can't scratch McDonough and Hedman when they come back healthy.
No. Well, here's the thing.
You can't forget Lilleberg either.
Yeah, and I mean, Lilleberg is more the enforcer type, so that's where the Lilleberg conversation gets in there. But otherwise, right now, Lilleberg's on the outside looking in when he comes back, like in my opinion. But
he was playing good when he got hurt. He stopped
was.
taking those stupid penalties at the beginning of the season. I would have said bench his ass. He stopped taking those stupid penalties and started doing pretty good.
You work him in. I mean, here are the debates that you have to have. One, you're going to put McDonough and Chernak back together, right? They go together like, lamb and tuna fish. They are a pair, and I think that's an easy, just bring them back together in this world. J.J. Moser has proved to me, you can put him with anybody, and he's going to elevate that other person. So I don't give a crap where Moser's playing. Like, I really don't. He is special. He is a special defensive defenseman. It might make sense that like with Moser, you have kind of Radish and Hedman there, in similar type of roles. And we talk about who else we're debating: Charles-Edouard Destoux, Crozier, Lilleberg. Carlisle will go down to Syracuse again. Really like what Carlisle has done stepping in, but he's going to go back to Syracuse when this all gets done. You have the ability during the regular season, at least, to run some 11-7, which, especially if Pointer's out, let's say that this team does suffer an injury moving forward, like Pointer. That does open up some 11-7 options for you, especially given what Radish has been able to do on that power play. It does remind me of what Sergachev did the year before he got traded, when Hedman, for whatever reason, he was dealing with back stuff or whatever. He wasn't quite all there. Sergei moved up to that top power play unit. He was excellent that season, had like one of his best, offensive outputs in his career. Then you saw the next year, right? It wasn't the same because his role got diminished a little bit by the nature of just Hedman being back at Hedman levels. So, with Radish, that's the thing is you have to, one way is Hedman going to be Hedman. And you might say, screw it. If we lose Radish, I don't care if we lose Radish in free agency because we're trying to win the cup this year, and he helps. When you go back to that second Stanley Cup team, and honestly a little bit of the first one, they had tons of blue line depth. And Luke Schenn was a constant scratch for that championship winning team in that second run. Like, Luke Schenn is always like the tradable piece that people want to bring in now at the deadline. there's nothing
And
wrong with having,
Bogosian was one of those other ones.
same thing. There's nothing wrong with having too many blue liners as healthy scratches because we know the playoffs are painful. You're going to go through a lot of attrition on the road to a cup run. You're going to need all of them. And I believe in that, even that like second cup run, I think Luke Shen had about like 7-8 games. So you're talking through, 2.5 months of this madness. You're going to fight them. You're going to find spots for them to get in, and people are going to need breathers. And especially towards the end of the season, if you can solidify yourself with the Olympics, you're also going to want to give your guys some days off naturally because, at least Hedman, it's baked in there. Hedman's had all this time off with the injury. McDonough's had all this time off with the injury, though he's not going to the Olympics. But there are other players like Jake Gensel, Brandon Hagel. You don't want to run all these guys into the ground. You want to, at the end of the season, you want to get some guys to give them a game or two off here because you don't want them playing like 110 games in a season or whatever it might be when you factor in the Olympics. So all this to say, don't worry about it. It's going to work itself out, and that the people who are playing the best hockey are going to play. Yes, there will be a spot for Hedman on this team no matter what, and Radish's role might have to be relegated a little bit. But if Radish is still performing like he's Cale Makar, Hedman will get his minutes diminished, and that's just the way that it's going to go because this year we got to go for the win, and we'll figure out next year to next year. But Hedman is a long-term guy. You got him for a few more years. Radish, for what you might have to pay him, might just be a casualty. That has nothing to do with the Lightning not loving him. It just all comes down to the fact that Radish might get, as Julien Brisebois put it last week, I believe, he might get a life-changing contract. And sometimes you got to tip your cap to the player for making the most of his opportunity. Wish him well. And that's exactly what happened to this team when they went back-to-back. They couldn't sign everybody. They were all too good. and that's how you keep parity in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, good
I think
problem
they
to
tell
have.
Hedman. I think they tell Hedman, just go ahead and sit this one out this year. Just get healthy. Come back.
Captain,
Come back
man.
next
They
year.
have
Put
it.
somebody
His goal
in
is
there, Hedman with Crozier, Hedman with Edouard Destu. They're going to mess around. They're going to figure out what to do here. Hedman, there will be different combinations. All I can say is that McDonough and Chernak, you put together, you figure out the other four, whoever. Moser goes any which way to help whoever's. I always think back to kind of Radish and Hedman only because those are more offensively defensive players. So you have a good balance there with Moser. Otherwise, I typically lean towards Crozier being in that defensive defenseman category. I think there's a part of me that thinks Edouard Destu could be left out some games, but I do think that there will be a rotation of guys, and as we're all mentioning, like a really good problem to have. If they go into the playoffs with 7-8 blue liners deep, cool with it. Like it will work itself out, I promise. If Hedman's your like last defensive pairing, this is a nightmare of a team. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, really?
Yeah.
I think Crozier has to be one of your scratches. I don't think you can take Crozier over Charlie Destu. I don't think you can
See, I
take out.
disagree with you there because Destu is more of the defensive liability than a Crozier. As Evan mentioned, Crozier's that more defensive defenseman. We don't need offense, so we don't have to make that choice. Yeah. That's the good news. We get to just watch it.
Injuries, and the choice might. I say this in baseball all the time. When people go, oh my God, like the Rays have all these pitchers, like what are they going to do? There are injuries all the time. You might not even have to make this decision. They'll figure it out once we get to April. So, we'll kind of.
There's going to be some kind of Tanya Hardin / Nancy Kerrigan thing going on for these defensemen to be able to get some time.
Look, here's the one thing I've learned in sports for sure. When everybody eats, like when everybody wins, y'all eat. So even if like somebody plays, like Emil Lilleberg plays 7 games or something, his next contract, by nature of being a Stanley Cup champion, is going to go up because there's going to be, everybody wants a piece of the pie. That's just how it all works. Luckily for the Lightning, JBB has gotten ahead of a lot of his work. Like next year when projecting free agents, Darren Radish might be the only one you're like, ugh. Like it's really Radish, Bjorkstrand, and Sabrin, I mean, we're really. It's pretty much set. Like their team is set next year. It's all these
Do
people.
you think that's in Radish's mind, though? Do you think that might affect Radish, knowing he is the only blue liner that they have not re-signed that is playing, and then literally JBB comes out and says, "We're not going to sign him this during the season." I mean, for me as a player, I would be like, "Okay, now that's in my head for the rest of the season." And we have seen since that has came out, he has not been on the same role he was having.
I will say he's going to regress at some point, right? I mean, like the
Yeah.
guy was literally going like he was Cale Makar, and his numbers still are like in the territory of a top 5 defenseman in this league. Like it's nuts. So we're talking about a guy who was a healthy scratch at the beginning of the season, who is now performing like a top 5 NHL defenseman. You're probably going to see some things even out over time. You know, like all these shots that he just like think about the San Jose game. A lot of those shots that were just blistering past the goalie. Like he's taking those shots still. They're just not going in anymore. Like he's not going to hit the clip that he's been hitting, but he's just by nature of the power play doing better, by nature of just his position on this team acquiring the headman role while he's gone, his production has soared because he's the position that he's been put in is one to succeed. So I don't know if Radish is thinking about all this too much. Hopefully Radish doesn't kind of like clam up thinking like, oh my God, like I have a life-changing contract coming up, right? Like if I keep performing well, I'm looking at a deal that's going to be 5, 6, 7 million per year. When I was a healthy scratch at the beginning of the year, I was a healthy scratch last year in the playoffs. This is a guy who is, 100 plus games in the NHL. Like he's been a role player to a borderline replacement player for most of his career. And now he's becoming like you build your blue line around a type at 30 something years old, 30 years old, 29. I forget what he is. He might be 28, 29, 30 in that range. But, I don't think that's getting to him. I think that like worst case scenario for him is he's got to go sign a deal with another franchise for $7 million next season. And I think that'd be quite all right with him. And I think one thing we know about JBB and what I respect about him a lot, because, let's juxtapose it with the Buccaneers, who I respect their business as well. The Bucs are very loyal to who they bring in, and a lot of times they will pay loyalty, and sometimes those contracts don't necessarily pay off. We know with JBB, he wants to win, and he will make the tough decision, right? We all were not happy about the Stamkos decision and that move in the current day and age. But it's hard to argue that was not an A-plus move to flip Stamkos for Gensel. It was a genius move, to be honest. And so we know that Julien Brisebois is not here to make the popular decision. He's here to make the decisions for this team to win a Stanley Cup. And if Darren Radish is the guy that is head of the snake, is leading this team to a cup, if we lose him in free agency, thank you, man. We'll bring you back. We can't wait to do a video for you, have a ring ceremony. But
in JBB we trust.
Exactly. Like he's not here ever. Like he knows the window is open, and it's actually been probably elongated a little bit by what they've done this year. But he knows I'm not here to worry about next year. I'm not here to flip Darren Radish so that I get more for, future teams and I get picks and prospects and we can start like rolling this thing over. That's not how he operates. If Darren Radish helps this team win right now, he's staying here. We'll worry about that in the offseason.
Exactly. I pulled up the graphic here. Obviously not up to date because we're up to 11 wins right now. But I mean, I want everyone to take a look and think back to the years. We're tied with 1920, the 19-20 season, I should say, for the 11 straight victories. That was a pretty darn good year for us. And then if you go back to 1920, we did it again. We did it twice. We won more than 10 games in a row twice, which is insane.
Very good team.
18-19, we don't talk about that year. That was a bad year for the playoffs, but still incredible. That was our best regular season campaign ever. 15-16 Eastern Conference Final, 03-04 Stanley Cup. I mean, this is a good sign, the run that this team is on. Hopefully they can keep it up. We have this little thing called the Stadium Series and then this little thing called the Olympics in between us and the playoffs right now. So who knows what's going to happen. Evan, do you have a couple more minutes to play a game with us, or do you got to run? Okay. All right. We've played some games with you before. I think the first time you were on, I think we played like underrated, overrated, or something like that. But
we dabbled.
We're evolving here. This is where the people that just listen, the audio only podcast listeners, hate our show. But I've been uploading the video to the podcast feed, so hopefully they get the hang of it. All right, so you're going to go head to head with Schoolie here. Okay. And what this is you are going to see a logo displayed on the screen. It's an NHL logo. It's a current primary logo, unless I say it's not. It's blacked out. So you're going to have to, by memory, basically know the outline of an NHL logo. So I'm going to give you an example. Here's our sample. Hopefully you guys both know that logo. Thomas, you know that one?
The Minnesota Wild. No.
We know that one, right? That's your Tampa Bay Lightning. So that's the game. We'll go through a couple here. We start always with our guests. So Evan, here is your first one. Kraken. Easy one. This gets harder.
Oh my gosh.
Thomas thinks I set these up every time. So they're hard for him.
Make the guests look good. I like it.
There you go. That's obviously the Kraken logo. Easy one to start it off. Schoolie. It's an easy one.
Well, I'm going to say the Ducks.
There you go. Let's get these sound effects going. All right, so it's 1-1. Back to Evan here.
Are they using that as their current logo, or are they using the D?
That's the current. That's the current.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, back to Evan here.
The Ottawa Senators.
This one got a lot of people the last game we played, but it was a little bit different of a game. All right, so Evan's got 2. Schoolie's with 1. Schoolie.
Flyers.
You got it. This is easier than last week's game, apparently.
Yeah.
Last week we had a real barn burner, Evan. All right. Back to you, Evan.
The Utah Mammoth.
All right. You guys are pretty good at this. It's going to get harder, though. It's going to get harder. Schoolie?
Penguins.
You got it. And I thought that one might throw you off a little bit there. So Penguins. Back to Evan for this one. This is where it gets harder, though.
The LA Kings.
Man, I can't stump you guys. LA Kings. Nice job. Back to Schoolie.
Montreal Canadiens.
You got it. All right. I guess this is the worst game I've ever come up with. All right. No, it gets harder. It gets harder. Evan?
That's easy.
I believe this is the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
Dang it, man. All right. I'm going to have to start making these games harder. Got it. Back to you, Schoolie, for the next one. Who do you have for this one?
Dallas Stars.
That's an easy one. I promise at some point it does get harder. Evan, here's a good one.
The Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Dang. You do know your stuff. Let's go back to Schoolie here.
Oh,
Chicago Blackhawks.
They're taking that one out.
I got a brick board.
All right, back to Evan. Oh, you're not gonna like this one.
The New York Rangers.
You should know this one. If I remember correctly, you got it. You're from up in that neck of the woods. But Rangers were not your team, right?
No, I was an Isles guy.
You're an Islanders guy. Right.
Michelle says even her daughter's getting all of these right.
So you got to
bring her daughter on.
You got to do the key of this game is to do the throwback outlines.
We're getting to the final ones, and I do have a couple secondary logos, so we're gonna make it a little harder here. But back to Schoolie.
Avalanche.
You got it. And we've got one more regular one for Evan.
Oh, of course. On my turn.
It's a tough one.
Florida Panthers?
Yep.
We got it. I thought that one would throw you off a little bit, but there you go. You got it, Panthers. All right. The final 3 are secondary logos. So they're not the primary logo, but they are the current secondary logos. So we'll start with this one. That's Schoolie.
Carolina
Yep.
Hurricanes.
There you go. 2 more left. Evan?
The Washington Capitals.
Yep.
And then Schoolie for the tie. If not, Evan wins this. Oh, this is the toughest one. The toughest one. All right. For the tie. If not, Evan wins.
I know this one.
This is the hardest one. He's going to be so mad again.
Is it Minnesota Wild?
Buffalo Sabres.
Evan stole it for the win. There you go. Hey, sorry, Schoolie. That is indeed the Buffalo Sabres bullhead, or buffalo head. I don't know what they call it.
I know this.
Remember the slug?
So I know this one because I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 years ago, the Lightning went up to Buffalo. They got their butts handed to them. And John Cooper, I believe in that game, with these uniforms on, sat Cooch Point Stamkos the entire third period. They were like in a really bad slump. And that's why these uniforms are stuck in my head.
Burned in the brain.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we will let you go. I got one more question for you because we didn't really ask about the coach. A big milestone year with him getting over 1,000 games, over 600 wins. This guy kind of came out of nowhere in 2015. We didn't know who he was. We knew he came down from the farm system, and they brought him up. I know you kind of came in during his reign here. Like, what are your thoughts on John Cooper as a head coach?
He's just the man. It's great that John gets to operate really in a world where he has all the job security that he can ask for, right? And what I mean by that is when we get to interact with John Cooper, or John Cooper interacts with you, the fan, through press conferences, or when he's out in the community, like he knows he's here, and he gets to kind of let down his guard, and everyone's kind of accepted him for him, and everybody knows him by now, and he's a joy to cover. He always gets the best out of his guys. He's typically always trying to find the next big thing with how to structurally play. Doesn't mean that it always works out. He's gone through a ton of lows. He's had some tremendous highs. And it's been really fun to watch Coop get his flowers this year, because that man has been behind the bench for all the ceremonies we see before the game. Think back to all the 1,000 games that have been played by the players, or 500 goals, or whatever it might be. And he sat there and he's watched these kids all grow up a little bit. And Coop is hitting a lot of milestones this year, and it's crazy to think about. He's only like 139 wins away from Al Arbor and that 740 mark that he set with the Islanders of wins with one franchise. Like, theoretically speaking, if he hangs around for 4 years, that should be his. And 40 years at his age, what takes him to just 60? I mean, he's still very young for this industry, for that role. I don't know if John's going to want to do this forever, but he has always kind of balked at the notion of retirement. My guess is when this team eventually has to rebuild, which one day will happen, because Nikita Kucherov can't play forever, Braden Point can't play forever. All these guys. Vassy, yeah. I mean, there's going to be a time where the kids that he grew up with in this team, they all go away, and there's going to be like that new corner that's turned, and you'll have like probably Hagel and Sorelli still hang out here with a couple of others. But I think probably around there he might call it good and move into a front office role. But I just think he's the best coach in the National Hockey League. I don't think it's debatable. I really hope that he wins to Jack Adams this year, because it's ridiculous a guy with his resume doesn't have it. I think it's ridiculous a guy with Jared Bednar's resume doesn't have it. And those are two of the best coaches in the National Hockey League, year in, year out. And the award just always seems to go to like this year, like, we love Marty, but like Martin St. Louis is turning around the Canadiens or having a great year. Those are typically the guys who win it. Of like they were bad, now they're good. It's like, well, why can't we just reward the really good, given their circumstances of especially with John with all these injuries. But I'll leave you with like this last tidbit, and it's my favorite one that I found this year so far. But he has 601 wins. The 601 are tied with all the other coaches in Lightning history. So his 601 versus the other 8. And if you look, there actually have been 602 wins before John Cooper became head coach. And somebody asked, like, why is there a discrepancy? Why is it 601 versus 601, but there's 602 wins before Cooper? Well, if you remember, John Cooper got hired. Then there was a game where he sat in the executive suite and the assistants coached, and they beat the Sabres that night 2-1. The next game, he was behind the bench. That was his first ever victory. But there's one win out there that just kind of floats in thin air, not attributed to anyone, because he wasn't behind the bench for that game. He was in a suite. So that's
well, this year he sat out one also. But I don't remember if they won. I think they did win it. He missed one game. There was the rumors that it was COVID.
Yeah, he's only missed 2 games in his career. One was that COVID game in Vegas, I believe, and the other was one this year for a personal matter. And I do believe those games are still attributed to his ledger, even if he's not, because he's actually
still the coach,
the head coach, versus in that scenario where he was never behind the bench before. So even though he was named the head coach, he didn't actually step into that role until he did so that Friday night, I believe, against the Devils in that shootout win.
That's good. I
By the
didn't
way,
know that.
I know Michelle said this, but Geeky is a healthy scratch tonight for the Syracuse Crunch. So he might be meeting them in St. Louis, maybe.
That would make a lot of sense. They didn't have time to really make a move on a second end of a back-to-back. We know Pointer's going to land on the IR. Hopefully he's back before the Olympics. But Geeky makes a lot of sense with the role that he plays up there. He has the scoring potential. He probably is going to nestle into a line where he's got a couple of great dudes around him. He's also been playing a lot on the power play. And so you figure shifting him into that role maybe, or, even if you boost something like what they did last night and you move him into the second power play unit. Regardless, I expect him, if he does come up, to be involved. But Julian talked about that last week of Geeky and just putting the puck on his stick more in Syracuse, him having a really bigger role there and feeling that role. And in doing so, it gets him more prepared for moments like this, if it's coming up. That it was a little bit of my thought of, would it be Geeky? Would it be Peltier? Would it be one of those types? But if it's an extended absence, maybe they're going to say, hey, Geeks, here's your opportunity. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, I hope so. I know a lot of fans hope so, but I think the good thing is it's almost like any one of those guys that they call up, they come up here, they step in that role, they know exactly what to do, and they haven't missed a beat. So it looks like we're kind of turning the corner towards the end of this season after we get some of this stuff done in between. And promise me one thing, come back before the playoffs. So we can talk some more and see what happens. For everyone out there, make sure you go follow Evan, like I said, on X, Twitter, whatever we're calling it these days. Awesome follow. Bucks coverage, Rays coverage, of course, Bolts coverage on Tampa Bay 10. Hey, man, it's always a blast to have you. We're lucky to have you here in Tampa. So thank you again.
Do we get Mike McDaniel as the OC coach?
And not yet. He is interviewing on Friday.
Friday. Do you think we get him?
I will say this: where there's smoke, there's fire. Jeff Darlington of ESPN is really good friends with Mike McDaniel. They go back to college together. I think they were at school together. I don't know if they're in the same class, but I mean, they know each other very well. Jeff Darlington, the day or two after McDaniel was relieved of his duties, he said he's going to take some interviews and expect him, like the Buccaneers, to have a shot at him. Interesting that he would signal the Buccaneers super early in that process after texting with McDaniel. Then you talk to, or then you see kind of the interview come up. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, who's very tapped into the Bucs, says, this is an intriguing option. I've been in this game long enough to kind of understand when it feels like people who are tapped in, who are tapped in, are saying things without saying things. So I'm not saying that they're going to get McDaniel, but I definitely think there's a lot of smoke here. Will they?
Aaron Carter from the Backstreet Boys was the first one to break it. He was the first one to tell us that
if he broke this, I will give him credit because he will be the first one on record. But he's taken a lot of interviews, a lot of head coaching interviews. I think that it's not crazy to think about Mike McDaniel being the future offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if that were to happen, A+ higher. But for you guys, thank you so much. I always appreciate coming in, having fun with you guys. Certainly beating Schooley in a game that just is a cherry on top. So, and yeah, just hit me up before the playoffs. We'll figure it out. And, you know how to get in touch with me.
Right on, man. Hey, thanks again. We'll be in touch. Maybe we'll run into you at the Stadium Series.
I will definitely be around for the Stadium Series. I can promise you that. Leading up all the day, the practice stuff, them putting up the rink, and I will definitely be around. So for anybody out there, if you go into the Stadium Series game, you'll certainly probably see me somewhere. I don't know where they're going to have people, but I'm very excited for that, as I'm sure all of us are.
All right, well, go get the scoop on this tent that they're building over there. Isn't like Monster Jam happening or something this weekend? Like they got to build this ice. Go get the scoop on that, man. We need to know how they're going to do this.
Yeah, they'll be prepared. They'll have it up and running, and if you get to the game early enough, probably they're going to take down the whole thing like 6 hours beforehand, so you probably won't see it. But the media will be let in, I'm sure, a little bit earlier, and we'll probably be able to get some of the images. But what they're doing is pretty fantastic. I'm excited.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, man, thanks again. Everyone, make sure you go follow him. Awesome follow, and we'll have him back on here before the playoffs. Thank you so much, Evan, and go Bolts.
Have a good one, guys.
All right. Thanks, what a pro. I'm not kidding. Awesome. I love following him. I'm always kind of scrolling through X, and I see some interesting things from time to time. And usually when I stop that
your
scroll,
camera's going offline to me.
It's how dare you turn my camera off? You need to call Frontier. You need to call Spectrum and tell them. Hold on, let me get the right sound effect.
What is going on?
Tell them.
Cheryl said Monster Jam's at the end of February.
Okay. Well, thank you, Cheryl.
You dummy.
And by the way, we got to talk about it because Cheryl was there. Cheryl knows. Yeah. What was your review of the watch party? I heard the best part was the live shooter games. Live shooter games was people want more. I got letters. Did your wife tell you that? I got letters in the mail today.
Listen, no, we have been tagged in several responses. I've gotten several text messages, several DMs saying that everybody really enjoyed it last night. I wouldn't say it was the best food, which is the big review I've heard. It wasn't the best of food. It was delicious. But that it was great space. It was a great time. They actually closed at 8:30 last night, but kept it open for us. And there was plenty of room, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was cool. We almost filled up that whole inside area, and you and I were in there earlier, and it was crowded before the game, and I was like, uh-oh, we're gonna run out of space.
Earl, the winner here, says yes, more shooter games.
Yeah. So. It was a really good time. It was great to kind of get everyone together. There were big tables where people were getting together with their friends. There was a lot of people that we had never met before in person. There were even some people, and this might be a first, that that were recruited by the venue to go to the watch party, because I think
we have not, and I was telling
promoted
people this last night, that we've done different venues before, and the venue has never really marketed it. It's really just been word of mouth from us and from other people. And OCC really did go out there and put it out there for, and they did marketing for themselves, because there was three or four tables that did it, that were there because they saw it from OCC. Because I got the opportunity to go around. We gave out raffle tickets. We gave away a Stadium Series jersey last night, and a Stadium Series hoodie. And you got one raffle ticket for every social you followed us on. And I got the opportunity to meet a lot of people, and I was like, do you follow us? And they were like, yeah. And they showed me OCC's Facebook page, and I was like, oh, no. We're Shooter and Schoolie, we the Thunder. And so
I was like, you don't know who I am?
No. Trust me, I'm never like that. Matter of fact, someone yesterday was like, "You're Thomas?" I'm like, "Yeah," and she had given me tickets before to give away in Thunderbolts, and then we found a guy that was taking free tickets and selling them. So she's like, "I'm her," and it was nice to be able to meet new people. We saw some of the regulars that we usually see, but it was great seeing new people out there that we had not gotten a chance to meet.
Did you talk to Craig that won the whole trivia tournament? He'd never listened before. Dude, that guy was really good. Like, he knew all of those answers, and some of them were tough. And props to Jay too, who's also new to listening to us, because that's who he played in the final. And Jay knows his stuff too. He's an STM. So shout out to those guys. Craig bought tickets.
BFL, not STM.
Whatever we're calling them. He has season tickets. Craig had he won, and he won tickets. Well, actually, he won the opportunity to buy tickets from me, and he did for a dime. So he will be at the game next Tuesday to see the San Jose Sharks and Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah, it was a good time. I always have a love-hate relationship with these things, because like when I watch Lightning games, I'm like watching every second of the game and like really paying attention to it. And you can't do that at these games. At least I can't. But it's there's so many games. It is fun to kind of get together and get everyone together to get together with their friends. And I'd do it again. By the way, there is a watch party on Friday. There's a watch party, and another unofficial. We are not affiliated with it. I will try to stop by for a bit if I can. I know Schoolie can't.
I will not.
Brass Tap in Carrollwood is trying to get people to go watch the game there. So it's not like affiliated with us, not affiliated with the Lightning. But I support anyone that's trying to get Lightning fans together. So if you're in that Carrollwood area, or if you want to go watch the game with Lightning fans, they are going to have their own watch party on Friday night. And I believe the Lightning were going to have one that got canceled. So
I believe so.
But great time. Thank you everyone that came, and yeah, keep an eye out. We might do one again after the Olympics.
So you went up from a penny to a dime, yeah.
Yeah.
we originally said a penny, so apparently Shooter got an extra 9 cents out of that.
Got that extra money from Craig. What else? Let's talk about Point. So when Point went down, of course, like everyone else, I was like, oh, shit. But as I'm watching the replay, which they showed way too many times during that broadcast, I don't want to see this guy get injured over and over again. I mean, he did score a goal right before, too, so you got to show both, I guess. And I told you this, too, at the watch party. When he went down, it's obviously knee area, but it was contact. When these guys tear ACLs, which is what John Cooper is referring to when he said we avoided worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is either Achilles or ACL. Achilles was down lower. ACL it could have been. When these guys hurt their ACL, like, and most of the time it's NFL, right? It's because they make a cut and the thing just snaps. it's usually no contact. So I was like, you know what? I'm thinking positive that this is best case scenario. There was contact there. So maybe it's not an ACL. And even like when Barkov, so to compare it to an NHLer, right? Barkov snapped his ACL, right? In preseason, a little tiny bit of contact, not what Braden had with some dumbass defender falling on top of his knee and twisting it backwards. So my opinion is it's an MCL sprain, which is really best case scenario. So he's going to be out week to week. We'll see. I hope for the guy he gets to play for Team Canada, but that's probably up in the air now. But the good news for us is it seems like he'll be back this season, hopefully fully Braden Point-esque by the playoffs. And what I mean by that is full speed Braden Point. And man, I think we might have dodged a bullet. But like I was telling you, I mean, if something horrible was going to happen like that, it would be good timing, because at least we'd be before the trade deadline. We'd have $9 million to go pick up another center, but crisis averted. We don't even have to worry about that for now.
Well, and the other thing that is good is it's so early in the season that let's get these injuries all out of the way. The problem we've seen though is that we've had a couple of them come back from injury and then go right back on injury. Chernak, is a hit away from being a plate of spaghetti, and so we can't rush these guys back. I get it. Like, I know Point wants to play in the Olympics for Team Canada, but we can't rush it. And with Cooper being the coach, I think he won't allow him to rush it.
Yeah, that's a good point. You would imagine he's got in the back of his mind the best interests of his Lightning players for his main gig, which is the job of coaching the Tampa Bay Lightning. Do you want me to spill the beans? And if you were at the watch party last night, you knew this because I was chatting with her during the watch party. But should I spill the beans on who our guest is next week? We've been on a roll with guests.
Do you have a time?
I don't have a time yet. Why?
Good, because don't forget
me and her.
The block party is next Wednesday.
Wednesday. Well, it looks like you're
so
out.
It's got to be after. It's got to be after the block party.
Or it's no schoolie. It'll be and Julie. So Julie Stewart Banks is who has been filling in for Gabby Shirley. By the way, Gabby Shirley had a baby today.
Yeah.
So that's why she's been out. And Julie is the blonde woman that has been filling in for her. She's been doing a great job. And we've been tweeting at her. So she agreed to jump on with us next week. I'll have to ask what time is good, hopefully a little bit later than this show. But I think it'll be good to have her on, and we can kind of get to know her a little bit. Should I put a game together for her?
No.
Maybe, yeah, we're doing it. I won't do head-to-head. I won't make you look like a fool again, because you know nothing about this team. Clearly, Evan's an Islanders fan, and he schooled you. I mean, it wasn't.
We'll talk afterwards why we should not do that.
Oh, now it just got weird. But yeah, that's going to be the guest next week. So I think it'll be cool to chat with her, see what she's all about, because she will be subbing in here, I'm assuming, for the rest of the season, or maybe to the playoffs. I don't know how all that works with babies and stuff.
Not that you've had two of them yourself.
Well, my children are so old. We didn't have this thing called paternity leave. Like, now a lot of these jobs are like, yeah, we give the father off for a year. And I'm like, where was this in 2007? I got screwed. I'm that generation that got screwed, Schoolie, okay? Don't let me go into
like 6 weeks or something, probably.
Well, I'm very happy for her family.
Michelle said she thinks Gabby said she'll be back for the playoffs.
That's what I was thinking. She ain't going to miss the playoffs. That baby's going to be a heck of a sideline reporter someday, though. I think it was a girl.
I'm not sure. I didn't see the sex of it.
Little Gabby Jr. Dr. Stephanie is with me on the MCL sprain. Is that what you think it was? It's got to be, right?
Well, then Earl up there said the way the leg twisted, I thought it was both all and Achilles. Look at the way his ankle twists too.
But then they would have already said he's out, and they'd already be shopping for another center.
Well, we did hear Evan say that he's going to go in the IR, which is something they haven't said yet.
But that helps so you can bring players up and down.
Right.
He's going to be out for weeks. Either way.
Girl said yes, it was a girl.
Dodged a bullet because he was really starting to heat up. It seemed like he was scoring every night during this streak. So really, we are lucky that, look at this hat. Sonia Bryson Kirksey made that hat, huh?
She sure did. She crocheted this for me and sent me it and was like, I'm sending you something. And I was like, you don't have to. And she said, no, I'm sending you it. And then I got it in the mail the other day. And it is very comfortable.
You do. Did you remind her that you have a co-host that had his head?
And then it says made by Sony up there.
And just a reminder, she will be back on the 20th, our first game back from this road trip, singing the national anthem. So Sonia will be back in the building for at least that game.
Do you know if what was I going to say? Oh, did you know that? And I forget her name, so I can't remember everyone's name that we meet. But one of the women that were at the watch party last night was the lady that did the Sonia skeleton outside her house. Remember that?
Yes.
She was the person that did that was at the watch party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, that's awesome. Because we showed Sonia that when she was on the show.
Yep.
And we actually have a clip of that, which is funny because I posted it at Sonia earlier this week because she was commenting on some stuff. So that was really cool. So sorry I forgot your name, but I'm horrible with names.
Yes, yes.
What else?
I like it. I love it.
Oh, God.
I want some more of it.
We got a intermission performance from Tim McGraw.
First intermission, they announced today Tim McGraw is going to be the performer at the Stadium Series. During the first intermission, they have not released any other things. But yes, Tim McGraw will be the first intermission, which is kind of weird because I really thought that would have done better in the Nashville one. Don't get me wrong, I love Tim McGraw. When Tim McGraw was last in concert here, 7 of the Bolts were at his concert. So it is definitely well liked in the clubhouse with the Bolts. But it is every time Nashville scores, that is their song. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. But he is a huge Tampa person. His father passed away here at Morton Plant Hospital in Clearwater, same one Hulk Hogan passed away at. They have a lot of ties to the Tampa Bay area. His dad was a baseball player, Tug McGraw. Big story with that. You can read all about it. It's really good and interesting. But he will be singing that. Stephanie, they have not confirmed anybody yet, and I heard they were still trying to sign people.
Now, will they do another concert during the second intermission?
Oh, it was Amy. Amy was the one that did the skeleton.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Amy. Yeah, we love that. We love your decorations.
For the Nashville game, they did someone every intermission. They did someone before the game, the national anthem. And then we did hear from Greg Wolf when we had him on last week that he did say that there will be some other bands out on the plaza playing.
I'm waking up and going down there. Like, that's my plan. I'm going to be down at out and around the stadium all day.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So
We'll be the ones getting arrested by 1 o'clock for being panhandlers and drunk and peeing our pants and
we will be
just me.
on the podcast. Did either one of us drink alcohol at our own party last night? No.
No, but I will be on that. Well, I might still be
Pissing your pants out.
drunk from Gasparilla. I might still be drunk from Gasparilla.
I will be slowly pacing myself because I'm actually not going to have a drop of alcohol until that day. And that might be a lie. You might see me with a beer at the game, at the Lightning game before that, because I got a friend coming into town for Gasparilla. You know what I'm trying to do? So we got a guest next week, and then the following week, Casey Hudson's supposed to come on. So she used to cover the Bolts, and she covers the Bruins now. So I told her before the season, mark this on your calendar. I got to send her the reminder, but the 28th, Casey's going to come on. So we got some true like women in sports coming on the next 2 weeks to school you schoolie in the NHL. So it'll be good to talk to Casey, see how she's doing, see how the gig is with NESPN, which, by the way, if you don't know what NESPN is, it's like ESPN just for Boston and New England. It is the most
New England.
It's the most
sports.
obnoxious broadcast, though, because there's such homers, and of course I just can't stand it. Except Casey, obviously, has some class above those other ones. And that just reminded me that I was watching the Philly broadcast of some of the Philly games that had happened, and guess what they brought up? John Cooper never winning the Coach of the Year, the Jack Adams. And the guy said, I should look up his name and give him a shout out. One of their broadcasters said, you know, that is a award that the broadcasters vote for, and he has my vote. So kudos for the Philly broadcaster for, you know, saying that to his own fans, basically. I'm not voting.
Yeah, there was a comment in here earlier that Cooper deserves the Jack Adams and the NHL hates us. You got to remember, a lot of these awards after season are not the NHL voting for it. They are writers. They are journalists. They are those kind of votes. So it is the journalists that are not voting for Coop. It's not the NHL itself.
Hold on, Thomas. Debbie just got here and her phone's not working, so we got to start over. Call Evan.
Well, are you Stephanie came in earlier and said, I forgot you guys were on, and she just came on, so we got to start all over. Get Evan back on.
You guys know you can just go back to the beginning after we're done. The other person that I did not realize followed us until recently, who I'm going to try. Actually, should I make a video plea right now and send it to him? Paul Delgado.
Oh.
On
Paul
Fox.
Delgado.
Delgado. Restart.
Yeah, let's not make that. Let's not take that one right there. It's Delgado.
Listen, Schoolie. Paul Delgado follows the podcast on X. Paul, we need you to come on. We need a true weather report for February 1st. Look, it's January 14th. We've heard it's supposed to be cold as shit this weekend, but we've got to know what's the early forecast for February 1st. So I'm going to send this to Paul, so hopefully we'll get a response, or come join us on a show before the Stadium Series.
Yeah.
Ooh, say something. Say something smart.
No, yeah, hopefully we could get one of the weather guys to come on and even just like a 10-15 minute thing and say, hey, you know, this is what we're projecting the weather to be. Maybe in the next week, because they can do 10, 20, 14-day forecasts.
They should have a solid idea of at least what the temperature range is going to be. I don't know about you, but I don't want it to be cold. The ice is not my problem. It's somebody else's problem. I do not
want it cold. I want it to be cold to feel like an outdoor hockey game.
it can still feel like an outdoor hockey game and be like 70, high 60s.
And I'm gonna make a play on here, and I'm gonna post it in Thunderbolts tomorrow, probably. Listen, I don't know if you guys watched the game down in. Oh, one other thing, Phil Esposito on the radio broadcast yesterday. Weird. He was on the away game last night, so good to see Phil Esposito. If you watch Mike Calta, they do a local pick for the death pool. That would be my pick, Esposito. Anyway,
Oh, don't say that. What the hell, man? We're muting your mic.
I don't know if you watched the Florida Panthers New York Rangers game, but during the game there was a very loud "Let's go Rangers" cheer. Oh yeah, Dennis Phillip. He's big time with the Bolts. We should reach out to him. And we can't have that in our stadium. We can't have that. We need to make sure on February 1st we're loud. We know if you've been around since 2015, 2016, you know Sticks of Fire. We know Sticks of Fire, and I have lots of friends that are Sticks of Fire. Sticks of Fire is not what they were in 2015, 2016. But I also know that Emily or Benchmark Arena is not loud unless we score a goal. We need to be loud the whole time February 1st. And I'm going to make this plea everywhere. We need to drown out the Bruins fans. We need to be loud. We're going to be on national TV. It's going to be the first time it's ever been here in Tampa. We need to make sure they bring this back to Tampa sometime.
I mean, I don't know how you're going to do that. You have twice as many people that can possibly be at this game compared to the Classic, because that was a baseball stadium versus a football stadium. And listen, I just am okay with it being that the place where we live, and I guess it's a whole Florida thing, half the people are not from here. I'm not from here. I grew up watching the Washington Capitals. Now, I'm not one of these dummies, which is like, I've lived here 30 years, but I'm still loyal to my Bruins. Wait, that's the wrong accent. But, I mean, if you've lived here a certain time, I mean, come on. Like, really? You're still, you moved here when you were 8 years old and you're still a diehard Rangers fan? These people are going to be there, Thomas. I get
I know.
We
we got to drown them out.
All right. Well,
we did it in Nashville.
I don't know how you're going to do that. I know Sticks of Fire is going to be there. I know their section will be loud, but you're right. Everybody needs to pump up the voices, and it's going to be tough. It's not going to be like a normal game. I think a big part of it is winning the game, because the Rangers pretty much dominated that game down south. That changed the whole tone of it. In fact, the Rangers saluted the crowd after the game, which I thought was hilarious. But I mean, that's just Tampa. That's just Florida. Is nobody's from here. You're the only one that was born here and raised here.
I wasn't born here.
Oh, geez.
I was born in New Jersey. I was born in New Jersey, but I've lived down here since I was 2.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of Boston fans here. It's going to be, I mean, I hope it's going to be 60-40. But I think that's what we're looking at, really.
Well, that's fine, but we need to make sure we're louder than. I mean. Okay.
Well, do you have a plan, or are you just making a statement?
I'm hoping.
What's your plan?
I'm hoping that Stephanie was born and raised here. Steven is a Tampa native.
Oh, never mind.
So I'm hoping that the Lightning Vision gets some stuff on the board there.
They do a horrible job. You know what you're gonna. Wait a minute. First of all, they do not do a horrible job. They do a great job. But you know what you're gonna get as far as getting crowd chants? You're gonna get those 2 gloves that we always get on the screen clapping.
But we have to have people be chanting "Let's go" Yeah, we outnumbered the Preds fans in Nashville, and I think we're gonna outnumber the Boston fans. But we can't sit on our hands like we do at Benchmark. It is so quiet during the game, especially if you're down in the 100s. It is so people sit on their hands so much until we score. You don't we don't have to score for you to cheer. You don't have to score for us to do let's go Bolts, let's go Lightning, any of that stuff. Vasi, any of that stuff. Just be loud.
Don't get your hopes up. I mean, this is the kind of game where it's, oh, there's an outdoor game. Oh, I want to go. Like that 100 level where those tickets are a lot of money is going to be people that are there for the social event. Like when I sat in the Channel Club the one time this year, and nobody's there watching the game. Nobody's there watching the game. They're eating food. They're socializing. I'm the only one watching the game in that section. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, School. I hope you're right. I hope people listen to you. But that's just the nature of this town. And you're going to have everyone that comes out, wants to go to the big outdoor game. And they might not have even gone to a single Lightning game this season at Benchmark.
Well, what's the Lightning? When's the football players come out on the field?
And they priced out a lot of the fans. Like, it's expensive to go to this game. There's no doubt about it. For people like me and you, we have to go. And a lot of people in the chat I know are going to go. Like, we have to go. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This might not ever happen again. So, fans like us and people that are listening, for the most part, we're going. And if you're on the fence, like, I'd tell you, bite the bullet. And get that ticket, because you're probably not going to regret it, and you're probably not going to get the chance to do that again here in Tampa. I'd love to see
there's several plasma banks. Plasma.
We will post also the sperm banks in the area. I would love to. I think we've got to be pretty close to getting on the list for like a winter classic. You think they'll put like us in? Well, no, because Florida did their classic, but like we got to be in line for a winter classic, probably away, right? Put us on the list.
Yeah, I think that we're going to be in line because I think they're going to have us travel more than they're going to. I think this is our one hosting, and then I think we'll just be visiting teams from now on. And I'm okay with being the visiting team. I like going to those other cities and being able to take over the cities and see the players out and about and see the arrivals and everything else. You're not going to have that here this year. You're not going to have where the players the night before are out and about, or you see them all over the streets, or 2 days in advance. And you're not going to see them after the game going out to. We don't have that bar area unless you're going to Las Vegas or 2001 and stuff like that, where that's where Boston's going to go. But the Lightning's, all their wives and families are going to be there. But actually, Boston is going to have their families here too. The day before, they are shutting it down. It's going to be family day for the players and their families to skate on the ice, which I had tweeted to Eric Harrelson, Lightning Insider. If you haven't followed him, follow him. Pay for your subscription, $40 a year. It's worth the money. I asked him if the team was doing a mother's trip or a father's trip this year, and he says there is no talk of one because they are doing that family day at the outdoor game. So the day before, they will have that.
Yeah. The other thing that was not released this month, which they've done the last at least 5 years, was Gasparilla jerseys. So I guess they really want you to buy the Stadium Series jerseys because you're not getting in a Gasparilla jersey this year.
Yeah, I saw they put out today an email about Gasparilla weekend, and that Bert Kreischer's here that Friday, King of Leon's is here Saturday, and then the Stadium Series Sunday.
Are you going to go to the real Gasparilla? Children's Parade must be this weekend, right?
I don't know.
Gotta be 2 weeks before I think.
I stopped going to the children's one when I got yelled at for
Kicked you out for not having a child and going to the children's parade.
pushing the kids out of the way to get the beats. So,
Some kids.
it's always the best time is to go there during the kids because you can reach in front of the kids and grab those beats that they throw.
So you're gonna go to the main one?
But yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
You are. I think I'm gonna save all my energy for Sunday.
24th is the kids parade.
Oh, so it's the week before then.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was usually 2 weeks before. I don't know.
No, it's the week. Dog parade was last weekend. Yeah, I saw.
There's a Gasparilla dog parade.
Of course,
I
there
think
is.
Greg Wolf covered it, didn't he?
I don't know. I know Linda Barrows went with her dog.
And
Her
by the
dogs.
way, Greg did get his Facebook account back. I made some calls.
Oh, yeah. Thanks to you, huh?
No. All right. I was listening to the post game show. I really like the post game show that's on the Bone with my guy Chief. Which, by the way, you can go talk to Chief if you want to before the game. He's usually on for home games, obviously, right before or at the Cigar City lounge or whatever they're calling it on the plaza. And then after the game, they're setting up for the last call, which has JP Peterson too, but the Chief's always on there too. You can go talk to him. That's how I met the Chief. So I go whenever I have like a chance to go swing by, I'll go say something to him. Like the last home game when we played Pittsburgh, right? A month or two ago. The infamous Hagel hand pass game. I was like, all right, let me go see what the Chief says. And he's like, that's not a hand pass. So he's a great guy. He's great to talk to. He knows we do a podcast too, but he's handled by folks with the Lightning, and they're not exactly throwing guests our way.
What was I gonna say? He also does the block party too.
I think where I was going with that, I think it was him that said this. When Hetty and McDonough get back, do they try to go 10 and 8? Four sets of defensemen and just keep Cooch out there rolling with live.
No,
I don't think that's ever been done. I mean, not when I've been watching Lightning games for the last 20 something years.
If anybody would do it, it'd be Cooper.
I mean, they could. I mean, you could easily double shift Hagel and Cooch and be fine. Sorelli in the loop, Gensel. I hope they do it. We'll see. Stuff happens, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. So Hedman, we know he's not going to be back till after the Olympics. It'll be interesting to see if they get McDonough back and try to get him into this game at the stadium. Although he's played in a few of these by now for New York and for us. So maybe he lets the young kids play. I'd like to see Geeky come up, which maybe we think he is since he got scratched. And because Geeky's brother's going to be down here. That'd be cool to see the brothers playing in the stadium series against each other.
There's a lot of people. His brother just took a leave of absence from Boston. A lot of people were speculating something happened, but he just had a baby, so he took a couple days off for the birth of his child.
Did you see the Ottawa thing?
Oh yeah, who hasn't seen the Ottawa thing?
I don't know. Maybe some people haven't, but the rumor was that
good old Allmark.
Allmark, who's Ottawa's goalie now from Boston, cheated on his wife on a road trip and then ratted out the rest of the team and said they all do the same thing on every road trip or something. And then the organization had to make a statement about it because I'm pretty who knows what the actual truth is, but I'm pretty sure this was just an internet rumor that happened. But where there's smoke, there's fire. We've heard some crazy stories about Lightning players and even stars here in Tampa. But I thought that was funny and just bizarre that the team had to actually make a statement
So
about.
the rumor was that Allmark used to come home every away trip and tell about, including Kachuk, cheating on their wives and girlfriends. And then she caught Allmark cheating, and therefore she called all the wives and girlfriends once he had ratted out and informed them. And then you saw a couple of games where Kachuk was scratched and everything, and then the team put Allmark on the not able to perform list, and this was the reason, this is the reason. It wouldn't have grown as big as it did had the GM not came out and made a statement. But for some reason, he felt he had to make a statement. And once that statement came out, then, of course, they started interviewing players on the team. And Kachuk was like, it's a total fucking lie. It's okay to boo us, but to start attacking our families, that's not right. And then I saw a report yesterday. Yeah, I agree too. And then I saw a report yesterday that Allmark was back in the building, so we'll see.
Listen, if it contributes to Ottawa imploding, I'm good with it because this division's ridiculous. We're the hottest team in the division in the league, but I mean they're still right behind us.
Listen, I'm thinking about following the Panthers players around on their away trips just so I can catch which ones those are, and then get them all mad.
You just love the gossip, don't you? I think one of the greatest ones of all time was the playoffs a few years ago when the Panthers allegedly went to Mons or Space Odyssey, and that's why we swept them. That is great.
Well, that Perry, I don't know if that Perry stuff was total BS because he literally got dropped from the team. And it came, I thought more of that came out that he had gotten drunk at a party, but there was an event, but there was a couple different versions that he showed his wiener to Kaylee Chelios, and then there was all that kind of stuff coming around.
Well, that was Chicago. Anyway.
Remember at first they were saying Bedard's mom, he was having an affair with Bedard's mom.
Corey Perry. Still out there kicking over in LA.
For the Kings.
Yeah.
For the Kings.
Which is ironic because they hated him for so long when he was across the county. I don't know. What do you call it? There's no bay there.
They put a microphone up in the arena that we are Perry sorry, it said. We are Perry sorry. And people came to the microphone and said how much they hated him before, but how much they love him now, and they're sorry and confessing all their sins for hating him back in the day. But at the end, they would say, I'm Perry sorry for the Kings.
Would you be about a Corey Perry gets traded here for 7th round pick at the trade deadline?
No, he's the kiss of death for the Stanley Cup Finals.
True.
No, if anybody's in the playoff hunt, they don't want him on the team. Go somewhere else. I mean, at least you're going to make it to the finals, but you're not going to win.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here. December 18th. So if we win Friday, franchise record, and then we will make it till Sunday, which will be the next game after that, and we will have went an entire month without losing a game, which is insane. We thought we'd be on this show talking about, we dropped one of the back-to-backs, but no, these guys keep going. And I think one of the impressive things about last night, it wasn't their best game. And, when you're on the road and you give up that goal with under 5 minutes left for that team to tie the game, and then you go to OT and that team's firing on all cylinders and Vasi's just making play after play after play. Like, that was a game that you are supposed to lose the way that went down. And for them to pull out that win was pretty impressive last night. So hopefully they can keep it going. St. Louis beat Carolina the other night, 3-0, pretty convincing fashion. So We'll see. 12 in a row sounds good. I'm all for a franchise record.
Do you want to talk about what will be given away soon?
No. we got a nice Fanatics Stadium Series jersey and Stadium Series jersey hoodie. So it is basic. Actually, I have it. Hold on. Let me grab it. So yes, we have another jersey, but also basically the style of the actual jersey as a hoodie here. So yeah, we have that, and stay tuned, people that like us and subscribe to us, especially on the YouTube, where there's only 3 people watching right now. For some reason, nobody likes to watch us on YouTube, but somebody's going to win those before the big game here. So just follow us on the socials so you find out if it's not tomorrow, it will be Friday. We will post that, and shirts are still available. I know we had a couple other people in the last couple days order some Freeze the Bay shirts. Get them now so you can wear them to the game, or get them before the game. We will probably shut down that link after the Stadium Series happens. So get them while we got them. Anything else?
Let's get out.
All right. Join us next Wednesday. Time to be determined, but we will have the new rinkside reporter for Bally Sports joining us. That is Julie Stewart-Binks. So make sure you join us next Wednesday. Until then, this has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?
That's it.
From the Bay. Headsets on, volume up. This is Bo's Country. Let's go. Wednesday night, red light on. Mics get hot when the puck drops on. Talking boats, no holding back. From the first face off to the post game cracks.